In 1938, following the Nazi occupation of Austria, Jewish people were considered anathema and were persecuted. In 1942, the Jewish psychiatrist Dr. Viktor Frankl, having only just recently suffered the loss of his first child through state-enforced abortion, was arrested along with his wife, his brother, and his parents, and was sent to Theresienstadt concentration camp in Czechoslovakia. Just 2 years later, in 1944, Frankl was separated from his family and was sent to the extermination camp of Auschwitz, where 1.1 million people had lost their lives as a result of starvation, disease, experimentation, and execution. Fortunately, when the Second World War ended in 1945, Auschwitz was liberated and Frankl's life was spared. However, over the course of those 3 years, his father, his mother, his brother, and his wife had all been killed. Following this ordeal, Frankl devoted himself almost entirely to his work, and in 1945 published his seminal opus, Man's Search for Meaning, in which he advocates that the central concern and purpose of human beings is not pleasure or happiness or wealth, but rather meaning. Having experienced intense human suffering in the concentration camps, Frankl observed that what most allowed prisoners to endure and survive was having a greater purpose or reason for living, thus echoing Friedrich Nietzsche's famous adage that he who has a why to live can bear almost any how. According to Frankl, we are each of us individually responsible for determining the meaning of our own lives. Indeed, he says that we should not be asking life for its meaning, rather we should recognize that it is life with its challenges and provocations that asks us. That being said, Frankl claims that there are 3 main ways in which people can discover meaning. Firstly, by acts of creation, such as art or music, serving others, or even just making people laugh. Secondly, by appreciation, whether it's loving those around you or reveling in the beauty of nature. And thirdly, through the attitude we adopt, which is to say, the manner in which we exercise our freedom to choose how best to respond to the events of our life, especially those which cause us to suffer. Or as Shakespeare famously puts it in his play Hamlet, "For there is nothing either good or bad, but thinking makes it so." In the same vein as Henry David Thoreau, who famously wrote that the mass of men lead lives of quiet desperation, Frankl believed that far too many people lack meaning in their lives and are plagued by what he called an existential vacuum, and that this is chiefly responsible for modern society's generalized aimlessness, lack of resilience, and misery. Indeed, to remedy this crisis, Frankl founded a school of psychotherapy which he called Logotherapy, which seeks to improve human well-being through the pursuit of meaning. By focusing on people's inner lives and orientating them towards a greater purpose, thereby satisfying their most fundamental desire for meaning, Frankl believed that not only were people happier as a result, but crucially, they were more capable of dealing with the inevitable hardships of life. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to leave a like or subscribe, and until next time, thanks for watching.